Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do a video tutorial on Coreldraw X5 for beginners. I am using Coreldraw X5, still relevant, a little old, but it's been good to me. I know it inside and out. If you have a newer version, things might be in different spots, but from what I've seen, it's pretty close. Not a ton of changes have been made. So familiarize yourself with the panel, where all your tools are, and let's get started. I've seen a lot of questions as far as how do I do this, how do I weld, how do I trim, how do I recreate a logo, low quality image, I need to vectorize it. My client sent me a poor quality image, this and that, so I'm going to take you through a few steps how to get started. So if you want to bring in that image that a client has sent you, or a friend or whatever, basically it would just be file, import, go find your file, bring it in. What I like to do, I'll put it right on my work surface here, and I will make it a little bit transparent, which I've already done, just so I can work right on top of it and still see what I'm doing. So then I'll right click it and I'll lock it. That way I can't move it or anything like that. And then I will kind of make a plan of attack here and figure out what to do. So this is my logo I brought in. It's just a low quality image just so I could demonstrate. As you can see, it's very pixelated and nasty looking. A lot of people I see will comment to other people, just use the auto trace, and yeah, that's great for certain things. If you have maybe just a black and white image that's pretty good quality, the auto trace might work for you. When you get into colors and it's a JPEG, let me take this and take the transparency off so I can show you. So if you look at it up close, the colors are all over the place. They're not solid. The edges are really bad. So if I were to try to do a trace on this, let's see what happens. Alright, so let's go over here and take a look at it. So as you can see, it did its best, but as you can see from the radius here, it's rough. It picked up a bunch of different colors here. It's not good. I mean, if you sent this back to a client, they would laugh. It's not good. So you can go and you can play around with, you can try high quality image. What I found is clip art works the best, believe it or not. You can do detailed logo, I mean, play around with them, see if they work for you. 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be good enough. If someone's paying you to redo their logo, which I get a lot, they had someone design them a logo, they send them just a JPEG file of their logo, and they paid for it, and they're not happy. Then they go to get it printed, and the printer's asking them for a high quality image, or a PDF, or a vector, or something they can use. You don't have it. That's not a designer. The designer should send you vector files, TIFFs, PNGs, high quality JPEGs. I mean, you should have everything you paid for. So anyway, you can try the auto trace. It's like I said, 9 times out of 10 it's not going to work. It's not going to be good enough. So you have to do it manually. And I've also seen people ask, well, does anyone know what font this is? Can someone figure out what? Well, a lot of times it wasn't a font. It was custom letters someone made, or if it is a font, you could spend hours trying to track that font down, which is just a waste of time. I've got hundreds and hundreds of fonts, and for me to go through them all and try to figure it out, it could take a long time, and I might not find it. So I just wasted a bunch of time that I don't have. So I do everything manually. I don't even mess around. I just get to it. So let's get to it. Again, I'm going to make this a little transparent, just so I can work on top of it. That'll work. And then I'll lock it, which is right click, lock object. Now I can't move it. Alright, so let's tackle this G here. I'm going to use my ellipse tool, and if you go control, left click, and drag, it'll make a perfect circle. And you could try to line that up if you want, and then shift and drag in. That's one way of doing it. I'll usually just do this. I'll go from top to bottom and drag over the edges, something like that. So I got that. I got to do the inner, so I'm going to right click, copy, edit, paste, shift, drag it in, and then I got to make the inner, so I'm going to do it again. Which you could use the hotkeys. I'm not going to use them, just so you could familiarize yourself with the space. But it would be Control C, Control V to paste. So copy, edit, you can see right here, Control V. And I'm going to drag that in again. Now I have my 3 rings, but I need to cut these out, because these are all solid. This one, the outer, it's a solid circle. This one's a solid circle. So if I were to fill them, which again, if you left click on it to highlight it, and left click on any color, that will fill it. And if you left click on the X, that'll unfill it. If you want to change the color of the outline, it's right click on a color, or right click on the X to get rid of an outline. So we need to cut this circle here out of this outer. So click on the inner, shift left click on the outer, and go up to trim, and that just cut out this circle from this circle. So now I can get rid of this one. I'm done with it. I'll delete that. So now, as you can see, I have a ring, and now I need to create, we'll get into some welding here. So I'm going to make this piece here, and my go-to tool is the B-spline tool. I don't use anything else, to be honest with you. You could use the pen tool, you could use a Bezier tool. I use the B-spline tool. It works. It does, I'll show you here in a minute, it does radiuses on its own. So I'm just going to start here, go to here, and as you click and move, it just creates a radius all by itself. Go back here. Now you're going to have to play around with it, get used to using it, but it's the best tool you own. And then, so you got a shape tool up here, so you want to grab that. You want to go in and make sure your corners are sharp. So if you add a node as close to the corner as possible, it'll start to draw this in. So you want to double left click on the line. See how it drew that into a nice sharp corner. And I'll do that down here too. That's one of the drawbacks of it, is it doesn't make the corners sharp unless you add nodes real close together on the corners. Alright, so now we got that piece done. I want to weld that to this outer ring. So as long as you're overlapping, like this is here, overlapping this circle, it'll weld it to it. So highlight that piece, shift, left click, highlight the outer ring, go up to weld, and now you got that. Now I want to weld it to this inner circle, so I'm going to shift, left click, and weld. I'm almost there. Now I need to cut out this piece. So you could take a rectangle and bring it over, and you could rotate it and try to figure out what size it is. That's a waste of time. Take your B-spline tool again. You just want to cut this piece out. So you got that highlighted. Shift, left click on the other piece and go up to trim. Now you don't need this anymore, so you can get rid of it. And then it's done. That easy. So I showed you how to weld, I showed you how to trim, and how to use the B-spline tool. Now you're left with the letters, and again, you can use shapes. Like for the R, you could start with a rectangle and then grab your B-spline tool, make this little piece here, just follow that around, and then weld those two together, and you got your R. With the G, you could do a circle or an ellipse here, and then take that, copy it, make a smaller one. Oops, it didn't paste. I just used Control V there. And you could try to figure that out, whatever works for you. As long as you get the job done, that's all that matters. For this outer, I'm just going to use my B-spline tool. And I'll just go around. And this might be tedious for a lot of you, but again, it's not always gonna be fast. I mean, someone created a logo and they didn't do what they were supposed to do, so now you gotta fix it, and usually to fix someone's mistakes it's more expensive. So Tell your client, hey, I got to redo this whole logo. You know, it's going to cost you. And it is what it is. You know, they got burnt the first time. Don't let them get burned again. And I'll just, with my B-spline tool, I'll just go around here. Again, go in, sharpen up your corners. Double left click. I'm just doing this real quick for the sake of this video. Now you're going to want to trim that out. So, got that highlighted, shift, left click on the outer, trim, get rid of the middle. And I'll just go along and keep going. I mean, I might have 20 minutes in this, you know. It's not, I think it shouldn't take you hours and hours. It's not that big a deal. So then after you're done, I already did this over here. And what I did is once I got all the letters done, I would go, and that's just, if you just left click and hold and highlight them all, and then I welded them, but you could group them. So like these three letters here, I'll highlight them and I'll group them, which you just right click on them and group, and so now they're one. But if you needed to go back and change some stuff later, you can ungroup them, and they're not permanent. Once you weld them, they're welded. And if you change the color in the group, it'll change them all. But if you go in here manually, open this group up, you could change each one individually if you wanted to, like that. And if you click on them all again, you can get rid of the outline or add an outline. It'll do the whole group. Unless, again, you, like I said, you do them individually. But for the sake of, I do a lot of t-shirts and stuff like that, so I would send this to the plotter. So I would keep whatever is blue separate, so either this would be a whole group, or I would weld these together and then this would be separate. So when I send them to cut, I would cut them individually, two different colors. Let's see what else. That should pretty much get you started. So that's the B-spline tool. I showed you how to weld, showed you how to trim, showed you how to group. Let's see. Showed you how to do the transparency. That'll pretty much get you started. With what I showed you today, you could just do a simple logo like this, recreate it, vectorize it, and you'd be good to go. I'm going to make some more advanced videos following this one, and we'll go over some other things, get more in depth. But hopefully that helps you. Let me know in the comments if there's something else you'd like to learn, something else you'd like to see. And thanks for watching. Go visit the website www.graphicdriven.com and have a good day.